Welcome to Friday 13th YouTube channel, Metalheads. Today we've got another review for you. This time is one of Germany's pioneer thrash metal bands, Sodom. Now they're about to release their new EP called 1982, released on Steamhammer Records on the 10th of November. Check it out, Metalheads, it's Die Hard Thrash. Born back in 1981 by the one and only Tom Angelripper, who plays vocals and bass guitar. Along with Tom Angelripper, back in the early stages of the band would have Chris Witchhunter on drums. Sadly, Chris passed away. Rest in peace, brother. I would also have Destructor on guitars. Now, we all know Sodom are one of the demigod thrash metal bands from Germany, alongside Kreator, Destruction, and Tankard. These four bands are the bands that started off the German thrash metal movement. And to be honest, these four bands should really tour together. We get the big four in America. Why not the big four of Europe with German thrash? Why not, Metalheads? What do you think? Now, the title of this EP, 1982, is pretty much set where the band first started rehearsing back in 1982 in Essen, Germany. This new EP will contain 5 songs, reworked songs from the early demo stages. We'd have the title track 1982, followed by Witching Metal, Victims of Death, Let's Fight in the Darkness of Hell, and Equinox will be the last song on the EP. Vocalist Tom Angelripper has constantly wrote heavy songs, really dirty sounding music, kind of cross between Motorhead, Venom, and it really works well for these guys. And let's face it, they're not a commercial thrash band. They've always stayed true to what they believe in, heavy, dirty music with attitude. After the release of the band's debut EP back in the early 80s, the band would record their debut album called Obsessed by Cruelty in 1986. This was a classic cult thrash metal album, kind of basically around Venom and Motorhead, very dirty bass guitar sound, very furious and fast music. This album would receive fantastic reviews in commercial and fanzines back in the early 80s. This album was also followed up by the album Persecution Mania back in 1987. This was a more steady, structured album, very technical, but very still raw and savage. Next came the album Agent Orange back in 1989. Now, for me, personally, this is one of my favourite Sodom albums. I managed to see these guys live with Sepultura in London, which was an absolute fantastic show. In total, the band have recorded 16 albums, still going strong, writing classic, brutal, heavy thrash metal. And so the current lineup would be Tom Angelripper, vocals and bass. We'd have Frank Blackfire on guitars. Now, Frank was in the band in the early stages, left the band, joined Kreator, didn't do much for him musically for a while, and then came back to the Sodom. Yorck Segatz would be on guitars, and also on drums would have Toni Merkel on drums. So that's the current lineup for the new EP 1982. Opening track is 1982. For me, this kind of comes across between Venom, Motorhead, Tank, and Raven. All 4 bands do gel well together in this song. It's a well-structured song. I wouldn't say it's the heaviest or fastest song in the EP, but it's still a good, classic, powerful song. It's also nice to know that the band have got a nice production behind it as well, considering this was a demo way back in the day. So they've re-recorded it with today's technology. The song really does shine through. So if you've got the original demo, compare. The guitar solo on this song is really wacky, crazy, and its sound kind of reminds me a little bit of Tom J. Warrior from Celtic Frost. It's the sort of thing he would do. All in all, this is a brutal, heavy EP. Fantastic production, re-recorded songs from the early demos. What I would like to have heard would have been the demos as well as this re-recorded version. So you'd have got the full re-recorded. As a bonus, you'd have had the raw savageness of the original demos. I like Sodom. They're doing really well. They're doing some fantastic songs. And like I said, if you are a fan of Venom, Motorhead, Raven, and Tank, you've really got to check these out if you've not heard the band before. I'm going to give this EP 4 out of 5. It's called 1982. It's coming out on the 10th of November on SPV Steamhammer. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. My album's coming soon.